The hot water. Then a half a teaspoon of liquid Drano. And the problem is it is a gel and it kind of clumps or comes out quickly. So that's another thing to think about. Stick it in. And I would put the Drano in last just because it's caustic. And then again, you just invert. And the reaction happens really quickly. I don't know if you guys can see, but there are bubbles starting to form or foam. I can pass it around. So what's happening is, if you don't know what hydrolyze is,
You're so close I can't see
the fatty acids or the fat in the oil is being broken up. And this is how they started using animal fat to make soap. So what's forming basically is soap because the oil is being broken down. These last three experiments, separate, the prep is the same for basically all of them, so it's easy to keep them together, but we just didn't want the kids to work ahead and skip a step, because the problem is that we tested this at Congress, and we gave them to them all at once. They were putting a tablespoon of Drano in. They weren't paying attention to the measuring spoons, and some of them didn't understand the difference between a tablespoon and a teaspoon and what would happen if you did the difference. So there's a lot of teachable moments in this, and in any science activity, you can always further it to something else. So we'll move on to soy plastic, and most of you have probably already done this. It's a part of the Ag in the Classroom corn plastic. The main ingredient is cornstarch, and we're using soybean oil, but it's to show them that soybeans can be used in a biodegradable product. It's only 2 drops of soybean oil, but still, if they didn't have the soybean oil, it wouldn't work. You could use corn oil, but it's just a way to show that soy is being used, and it's a fun science project. Cautions for this: you are going to microwave it for 25 seconds in a bag. They need to make sure they vent it on the corner, or the bag will blow up in the microwave, which isn't a science experiment in itself. So, you know. But if they don't get it mixed thoroughly, if the cornstarch isn't mixed, their plastic will come out chalky and it won't ball up, and they get all distraught. So if you're at the beginning, if you just tell them to mix it thoroughly and not rush to get it microwaved, then it'll work out better. So you're going to use a tablespoon of cornstarch.
And by the way, we tried this with soy flour and some different things, and it's not the same. The starch of the cornstarch doesn't quite work the same as the soy starch.
Got your handy dandy tablespoon of water. 2 drops of oil. Some color. We'll make red plastic.
You might add the kits will have cornstarch and food color in them as well.
Yes.
We tried to do just base supplies for all of them.
So basically you're just going to get it all mixed. And if they put too much oil in, plastic. So you're just gonna continue to mix it. I'm gonna put some more water in it because it's supposed to be a tablespoon. If you read up there, I put teaspoon in. See, kids can make mistakes. There. So you just mix it, have the kids mix. But seal when they mix, and then vent it before you put it in the microwave. I usually put them in a cup, just so they're not flying around the microwave. In 25 seconds, this is an old microwave, so you just kind of count.
That's surgical science.
This is where the math standard comes in, is counting.
Okay. And then when you get it out, it's very hot. But they're not going to wait to touch it because they're kids. Just give them that warning. But if they work with it, and so you can tell that all the cornstarch wasn't mixed up, so that's the chalkiness that you're seeing. But as it cools and hardens, they're going to have some plastic. And then what you can talk about is this is under. Okay, we're not going to do this one because it's a little messy. How many of you have done science? Amy Webster and I have used this in a diversity program with cow's milk, where you take food coloring and then you use a surfactant. I can't say that word very well. But the interesting thing is it does something totally different in soy milk than what it does in cow's milk. So the easy thing to do is, the objective is to explore what happens when a surfactant is added to milk. The safety note is when the kids are finished, have them slide it into the trash can, because if they don't, there's going to be milk, food coloring, and if there's carpet, people are not going to be happy with dyed carpet. Okay, so you're going to fill the bottom of the plate with milk, and then take your food coloring, and you're going to just drop 3 drops in 3 different areas of the milk, and then take a Q-tip, have them dip it in the soap. And I know you guys can't really see it, but as soon as you put the soap in the milk, it causes all the color to go to the outside. In cow's milk, it starts swirling it. And the reason is there's a higher fat content in cow's milk than there is in the soy milk. And so they're going to write their prediction. It's a little more of a research type thing. Then they're going to have their picture before and after in their handouts.